Hi, it's Mark Gillan here. I'm back again with another wee video for you. This time, absolute referencing. If you're not too sure on relative referencing, I would advise you to look at relative referencing first. So relative referencing is when you fill down a column or across a row, or copy and paste when you move the contents of a cell where you've got a formula. In this instance, with a formula of B2 multiplied by C2, you move that down, it changes as you move down each cell, so it then becomes B3, C3, so and so on. Now that works for, as I said, copying, filling down a formula across a range within a column and also across a row. And it also works if you're copying and pasting as well. Excellent within Microsoft Excel for that. However, we can come a cropper with relative referencing, and that's why we need to know about absolute referencing. So in this cell here, we've got a bonus, and the bonus has got to be multiplied out so that it can then be added on. Now, I've already got the formula in for the total payment, but it's the bonus part. So this one here, I'm referring to this cell with the 35%. I prefer to use referencing to cells as opposed to figures within formula. If you have formulae through a massive spreadsheet, that's when you can come a cropper. So what we want to do is we want to multiply the wages by the bonus to ascertain what the bonus value is going to be. So in the cell, we're going to put a formula. The formula is going to be equals that cell. I like to do it visually. It reduces the errors, it reduces the possibility of errors, and it's a lot easier rather than trying to remember and look up cell references, so it can be quicker. Definitely more efficient. So D2 multiplied by this amount here, which is in the bonus amount, which at the moment it's 35%. The cell is formatted for 35%, and that will automatically be calculated out now. So we hit the enter button, and by default, it moves down a cell. So 35% of £226.56 pennies gives us 79.30. Works for any currency, by the way, honestly. So here we have your 35%. It was formatted so it knows it's 35%, and we'll multiply that out. So if we were to fill this down, so the bottom right hand corner of the cell, we click and drag it down, I'll tell you now, we're going to end up with a lot of zeros, because as we move down, it's relative referencing. So the D2 will become D3. There's your D3. So this becomes D3 as we move down one row. But so does this. So the B15 becomes B16. There's nothing in B16. So that's why any amount multiplied by 0, as we know, will be 0. So there's nothing in the cell. When we look at the formula, it is, as I said, is D3 multiplied by B16. There's B16. And there's your D3. So the D3 is okay. That's fine. And the same with the cell underneath, D4 multiplied by B17. So it's relative referencing. It's not worked for us, except for the first cell reference, because we do want these D's in the column D's to move down for each row. So row 2, 3, 4, and so on. So D2 to become D3, we do require that, but we don't want B16 and B17. We don't want this to be relative. So the cell B15, what you can do is you can either type your dollar signs in for the string for B and the 15, or F4. F4 is excellent. It's nice and handy and quick, efficient, and that's us made that absolute. So it's absolutely got to be that cell that it's referring to. So when we copy it down now, if we fill down, there we go. Works perfect for us. So it now calculates out the bonus for each of them correctly. So the top one, D2 multiplied by B15. The B15 is absolute referencing. The D2 is left as it normally is by default within Microsoft Excel to be relative referencing. So we move down a cell, D3 multiplied by B15, the absolute referencing. And that is all the way down. Hope you've enjoyed looking at the video and you've enjoyed this tutorial to hopefully have helped you understand about absolute referencing and also a wee refresher on relative referencing. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.